If you're a Social Security beneficiary, you may not be ready for what's about to happen, as some crazy things are going on right now, and that's what I'm going to share with you here in this video. And I also do have this article right here. I'm going to pop this up on the screen in just a minute so you can see and read for yourself exactly what this is talking about. I'll pull out the key details within that article and that information right there, which we will talk about and highlight for you in this video. This is totally nuts, beyond what anything we've seen over the last few years here, and this is getting a whole lot worse going forward. But I want to break this down because I would say this much: Social Security beneficiaries across the board, based on what I've been reading on this, based on the comments that I've been receiving, are unfortunately ill-prepared for this. And again, no fault of your own whatsoever, but rather it's a function of Social Security, how the program is laid out, how this program operates, and basically the predicament that Social Security beneficiaries have been put in, again, by no fault of your own whatsoever. But this is the reality of the situation. Now, I want to talk about some data that was released yesterday. Now, I'm not talking about the data that was released a couple days ago. I focused on that yesterday. But rather, in this video, I want to focus on some new data we have not talked about yet that was released yesterday. And this is shocking, beyond shocking. Unlike anything we've seen in several years, and it's going to get a whole lot worse. I'm going to throw that out there really quickly. Let's put this up on the screen right here, right now. Now, this is a screenshot. This is a screenshot of my email. This is from the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, this is not the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, but rather this is the PPI, Producer Price Index. Now, this is an inflationary measure that measures inflation on the wholesale level. Now, remember, that's where we see inflation first, is on the wholesale level, and then eventually over the time, as in weeks and months, it takes a few months to make its way through the supply chain, but then eventually we see that showing up in consumer prices as well as in the CPI. Check this out on that screenshot there. This is nuts. In April alone, on the producer price level, as in the wholesale level, inflation went up 1.4%. On a month-over-month basis. In 1 month, it went up 1.4%. That is nuts. It should be a number of about 0.2, okay? It's up 1.4. On goods, services, 1.2%. Check this out, though. As you read through that there, on a year-over-year basis, it is up 6%. So we're literally seeing wholesale inflation up at 6% right now based on this number. And again, this is based on April's inflation data. Now, the reason that I want to bring this to your attention, because literally yesterday, I had a separate video out where I was talking about the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, which came out on Tuesday, and now we got the PPI on Wednesday. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. Point being is that I've said this so many times, and I'm going to say it again really quickly as well, which is this is going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Now, again, because of the PPI data, as in the wholesale inflation data that we're looking at here, we want to keep an eye on that very closely because we are seeing 6% annualized inflation on the wholesale level. What do you think that's going to do to consumer prices over the coming weeks and months here? Yep, it's going to jack up consumer prices that all of us are paying, because eventually that price increase is going to hit the products on the store shelf. It's not there yet. It's still on the wholesale level. Basically, they're still paying it before it gets to the consumer level, but they're going to pass all of that on to us, exactly as I've been talking about for months now. We've known that this would be coming, and here it is. We can see it showing up in this preliminary data here on the wholesale level. Consumer level is next, as in it's coming for us. Okay, look out, it's coming for us. Now, why do we want to watch this information very closely? Couple different reasons why. Number one, as a Social Security beneficiary living on a fixed income, it's massively difficult. Again, as prices continue to rise and incomes have done nothing, incomes haven't budged whatsoever, but yet prices are like a runaway train that are just going up and up and up and up and up, getting away from people. And that's reason number one we want to watch that. Now, as I film this video, we're in the middle of May right now, 2026. We're only a month and a half away from July. Remember, July is when all this inflation starts to really matter. based on this data here and how much time we have, we're likely going to see a lot of that we just saw on the wholesale level hitting in that July, August, September range. Point being is that the forecast that I've been giving you for the potential Social Security raise, again, I'm going to be updating that here in a separate dedicated video in the coming days here, so just stand by for that. I'll make you a new dedicated video. But point being is that these numbers are going to get significantly higher. Now, yesterday as well, I said we could be pushing a 5% raise. That was before we got this PPI data based on the wholesale level. Now we're seeing a 6% on the annual level, the annualized wholesale inflation level, 6%. We could be seeing CPI consumer inflation well above 5% if that's what we're seeing on the wholesale level. Again, I know this is not something that anybody really wants to sit here and talk about forever, but it is so out of line. It is so big that it is something that we need to focus on, because here's the details around this. We have not seen inflation like this since 2023. When we started to come down from the peak that hit in June of 2022 at 9.1%. So we have not seen inflation like this since we went up the mountain, peaked out at 9.1% in June of 2022, and started going down the other side of the inflation mountain. Guess what we're doing now? We're going back up the inflation mountain right now. We have not hit the top. We have not hit the summit yet. And that's the scary part, because this could get way out of hand really, really fast. And unfortunately, this is going to cost a whole lot more for Social Security beneficiaries, but also this is going to translate into a significantly higher raise to our monthly benefits in the coming months here when we get all this inflation data out. Either way, I know you might not care a whole lot about this and feel like, oh, who cares? I don't want to hear about inflation. It's so important. I mean, maybe you don't care, and that's fine. I'm not here to sit here and say like, oh, you should really care about this. Care about whatever you want. If you don't care, that's fine. I'm not sitting here saying that you should. I'm just saying like this is very, very important, especially for Social Security beneficiaries, seniors, people with disabilities, people living on a fixed income. Very, very important, because these prices are rising, incomes are not. And that's the problem. However, it may translate into a significantly higher raise than we were anticipating even just a couple of days ago prior to all this inflation data. This is nuts. This is like a massive runaway train right now. They got to get this thing under control. Either way, honestly, I don't think these numbers are coming down anytime soon. They're going to continue to go up before they plateau and make their way down. It's going to be a long road ahead of us. It's not going to be a couple months. We're probably looking at this for probably a couple years. I know that sounds weird, but realistically, we're probably looking at heightened inflation for probably a couple more years. It could top out. I mean, it could peak in 4 months, 3 months. But point being is that it's going to take a long time to bring that back down to the 2% range that the Fed wants it to be. We got a problem on our hands right here, and they need to handle this massively, and they need to handle it very, very quickly for people. All right, anyway, as always, if you're on Medicare, if you need to enroll in Medicare, if you're turning 65 in the next 6 months or so, if you recently moved across state lines or county lines, if you have a special enrollment period opening up for you, if you have your initial enrollment period opening up, whatever it happens to be, anything Medicare related, make sure to call Chapter Medicare right there. Phone number's on the screen for you, 100% for free right there. You can actually read it for yourself. Free Medicare help. Here's the really cool part. They have access to over 20,000 plans across the country. They are diligently helping those of you in this community every single day. Those of you in this community are calling that phone number there. In the last year and a half or so, it's actually not even a year and a half, about 14,000 of you in this community have called that phone number there. And here's the really cool part. Just in the last year and a half or so, those of you in this community have collectively saved nearly $3 million by contacting Chapter right there, getting free help with your Medicare, nearly 3 million big old buckaroonies right back in your pocket. That's awesome. That is so cool. Congratulations to all of those of you in this community that have saved a bunch of money by using Chapter. So cool. And again, it's free. I've got nothing to sell you on this channel. I literally have nothing. Okay, nothing. You could be like, dude, I want your phone. Be like, it's not for sale. My phone's not for sale, okay? I've got nothing. I got some junk notebooks and a couple pens sitting here on my desk. Other than that, I've got nothing. All right, anyway, I just have free stuff for you, these videos, and help from Chapter right there. Otherwise, until next time, please consider subscribing. Big subscribe button down below. Please share the video. Share button down below. Otherwise, until next time, please have a nice day. Check out the other 6,000 videos here on the channel in the video library. Have a good one.